no more than one time. No rebuttals to the comment by others will be permitted. Comments, applause, and other interruptions from the audience will not be allowed. In order to promote orderly meetings so attendees feel safe, secure in their attendance, threatening, abusive comments that disrupt the meeting shall not be allowed. All speakers shall address the Board of County Commissioners, mention their name, and then speak on the issue from the podium. First, on the public input form, we have Mr. Frank Sanchez.
Madam Chair and County Commissioners, my name is Frank Sanchez. I'm a retired dentist from Las Vegas. I was born and raised in Las Vegas, attended West Las Vegas High School, graduated from there, and then went on to graduate from New Mexico Highlands University. I attended dental school in Washington, D.C. at Howard University, and then came back to Las Vegas in 1977 to open my practice, and I practiced for 33 years in Las Vegas. I've been retired for the last 9 years. This year I was able to work the legislative session as a, excuse me, just one second. As a sergeant of arms, and I was able to build some relationships with the governor's office, with the House and the Senate, and I enjoyed my time there very much. In the process, I have decided to do some lobbying work, and so I'm interested in partnering with the county commissioners to do lobbying for the county, San Miguel County. I have lived in Las Vegas for most of my life, except when I went to dental school. I worked in Grants, New Mexico at the uranium mines for a little while, and then I lived in Phoenix and San Antonio for a bit, and like I said, in Washington, D.C. But I've been back in Las Vegas for the last 2.5 years, and I'm very interested in seeing the county grow and to have more jobs. I'm interested in education. I'm also interested in the new facilities that will come to New Mexico in the next few years, and I think that San Miguel could be an integral part of that growth in New Mexico, and so I'm interested in that. I'm also interested in seeing that we get our fair share in San Miguel. I think that for the last few years, maybe more than a few years, we've been downsizing, we've been losing population, especially our young children, and so I'm interested in seeing that we get our fair share in the state and have an opportunity to continue some growth. There's some opportunities in the film industry in particular, also with the drug epidemic in the whole country. We have opportunities there with the state hospital being housed in Las Vegas, the Behavioral Health Center now. I worked at the state hospital when I was going to undergraduate school, and so I'm familiar with that operation as well. I have some contacts there, and so I would like to partner up with the county to be able to do some lobbying work. And so that's why I'm here today, to introduce myself and to offer those services if it's a possibility. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. Next, we have Mr. Manuel Garcia.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
I'm Manuel Garcia. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I live out in the area of Maize, New Mexico, and today I want to talk two items, vacation of roads and disposition of records pertaining to roads and bridges. At one time, San Miguel County had about 950 miles of roads. I don't know how many miles they had in the 1950s, but if you go back and look at the records, in the 1970s, there was about 950 miles of roads. And now there are about between 500 and 515 miles of road, more or less. So you had a steep decline from 950 down to kind of an equilibrium of 500 or so. And I'm requesting that San Miguel County do not dispose of road bridge records that show when the roads were adopted by the county or vacated by the county, and all associated records for that, such as minutes, agendas, etc. And the reason to request keeping those documents is that they're going to be needed in the future. San Miguel County and other counties, of course, are vacating roads, and the landowners that are on those roads or near those roads may need those records and will need those records in case of easements, in case of litigation or legal steps for easement. Normally, the legal offices want to know when the road was made, when the road was adopted, when it was adopted, etc. San Miguel County should think about how to fund roads, not to vacate them. I mean, it's easy and more expedient to vacate them, but I think it's better administration if they could figure out how to fund them, especially now in this day and age of increased surplus from the oil and gas revenue. You probably heard that New Mexico is now the largest producer of oil and gas in the country, with a finding of more oil and gas in the Permian Basin. And last year they had a surplus of $1 billion, and New Mexico benefited by that. And I guess this year they're going to have another surplus of about $1 billion. And it's easily forecast to be for the next 5 years and maybe the next 10 years. So look at that. I mean, there's funds for bridges from the federal government. There's funds for roads. And sure, some roads have to be vacated. I can remember one, I think it led to a lawsuit, Trig versus Alemán, where they vacated a long road out to the Trig property, and that ended up in the appeals court. So you have to consider, what are the intended circumstances and what are the unintended consequences. And I would urge you to really do your homework before vacating any roads that any other landowners need access to. If it's just somebody that's a private owner and it goes through his property, it's not a problem. But for other properties, it could be a problem. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. Next, we have Lee Einer.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Lee Einer. I'm a resident of Las Vegas. I live on South Pacific, and I wanted to come before you and express my support for this resolution supporting wildlife corridors. It's so important. John Muir said that when you tug on one thing in nature, you find out it's connected to everything else. And in particular, in grasslands, migration for large herbivores is key to the health of the entire ecosystem. If I can tell you a story, back in the 1970s, the feds had the bright idea that they should kill off the wolves in Yellowstone Park. They thought it would be good for the elk and whatnot. And the common denominator here in this story is that wolves are the behavioral regulators of large herbivores. They help them migrate by means of negative consequences, if you follow me. And rather than getting the results that they expected, they found out 10 years later while they were doing their follow-up studies that it affected everything in a negative fashion. And when I say everything, I mean all the way down to the beaver and the trout and the osprey. Even the riparian ecosystem changed for the worse. It's so important for us to maintain our natural ecosystems here and not let them get hung up on the barbed wire and the roads. Antelope in particular don't jump fences. They try to crawl underneath. There's a lot of injuries potentially, and they can't get away from predators. They also are inhibited from getting to fresh pasture and grazing and doing what they need to do to keep the grasslands healthy, which is to eat, munch it down, and then move on and let it come back. I'm here to urge you to support this resolution so that we can keep our environment healthy, so that we can keep our wildlife healthy and our deer and elk and antelope population secure in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Einer. Next, we have Penny Spring.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I just came this afternoon to support protecting the wildlife corridors in the Upper Rio Grande Basin. And just because it's a good idea to keep the animals alive, they're a beautiful part of the area, a wonderful attraction for all of us. So I just see it as a win-win situation, and I hope that you all will support that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Rocky Libarri.
Rocky Libarri from El Porvenir. I'm here to support Mr. Commissioner Trujillo in this wildlife resolution for wildlife corridors. I also have an invitation for all the elected officials here. Because this wildlife corridor does touch San Miguel and Rio Riba and Santa Fe County and all the way up to Alamosa, from southern Colorado, all the way to Sandia Pueblo. And it's not just about the animals either. You know, there's a public safety issue out there. Last week, a Las Vegas man was killed trying to divert an elk outside of Wagon Mound. So it's much more than that. And we're just asking the forest planners to consider a lot of things while they're doing their forest plan. You know, consider climate change, consider all the things that have been built, consider overpasses and underpasses. You know, consider when the best time to do a prescribed burn is also the same time that turkeys are mating. So have that in your mind and consider that's mating time for turkeys. You know, maybe we can move that up or down or back away. But this is just a resolution asking to consider all of our communities, whether it's your cattle ranchers or land grant heirs or just people that like to hunt, hike, and fish. But a healthy wildlife is a healthy watershed, and it's part of our heritage, it's part of our traditions. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Andres Aragon.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to address Agenda Item 1 regarding the Wildlife Corridors Conservation Act. And if you will, I mean, I love wildlife. Who doesn't? I would like to say that I can fully support the concept of wildlife corridors, but I cannot support the resolution before you. One, because it is inconsistent in its written form. It talks about the Upper Rio Grande Basin. Well, if you read the 45-page document that is the act presented by Senator Udall, it talks about all the federal lands, and it incorporates in there collaborating with state lands and tribal lands. And I give I commend Senator Udall because he did indicate in there acequias and land grants are in there, so it's in that legislation. So like I said, in concept, I fully support it, but this particular document as a resolution, I think we need to take the time to read the 45-page document and address all the definitions, because the devil is in the detail. And all of these items remind me of a former topic, which was ANWR, Outstanding National Resource Waters. I came before the county and I opposed that because they talked about non-point pollution and point pollution. Point being you could identify that it was a mine or something that was going to affect the waters, and non-point was the cattle feces and stuff like that. So the whole concept behind was to get rid of cattle in the wilderness. But anyway, this particular document on the corridors, like I said, I can fully support the concept, but this particular document as a resolution needs some work. We need to really be consistent with what the Senator Udall's legislation is, and maybe appoint some kind of committee to really look at the document closely, definitions, how it affects ranchers. I mean, I'm a fully vested rancher, and I think we've kind of evolved from the standpoint that before, ranchers were thought about as, going around the pickup drinking Coors Light. Well, now we drink elevated IPA, not just the Coors Light, so we're evolving. But I think of myself as a naturalist, as a conservationist, and as a preservationist. As a naturalist, because we have to work with the natural environment. As a conservationist, because one of my passions has always been soil and water conservation. And preservationist, I mean, we're trying to leave the land better condition than what we originally got it. So we're fully vested. I operate on national forests, state lands, so this particular legislation affects me in its entirety. And then on the deeded land, well, you know, it's all incorporated. So sure, as a concept, I can say, you know, I'm fully supportive of it, but I think this particular resolution needs some work, and I think we need to tie it back into the actual Senator Udall legislation, which is the Wildlife Corridors Conservation Act. Thank you.
Thank you. Martha Lopez? I have Martha Lopez and George Lyons. I believe you guys are talking on the same, about the same.
Yeah, she's signing as well on the presentation.
Okay. Oh, so you guys, okay, you guys are presenting later? Oh, okay. All right. So we'll move on to Ernesto Lujan. I hope I spelled the name, I mean, I'm reading the name right.
That's his name, sir.
Oh, he is? Okay.
He's right there by George.
Mr. Chairman, board members, I'm a little confused. The reason that I came was really to listen to all the pros and cons in relations to this subdivision of a certain tract of land that's within the land grant. So that was the reason why I put my name on the very last part of it. But anyway, we do have some issues with it because as being a board member of the land grant, we want to make sure that the land grant, whatever properties are out there, consisting more of 160 acres, we want to make sure that none of these lands are part of the common lands within the land grant. And we would like some documentation letting us know that whatever land they acquired or whatever, that it was through proper channels through the land grant. Okay? That's all we're asking for in any of the land grant, any of the properties within the land grant. Do I make myself clear? If not, any questions?
Thank you.
Also, I would like to reserve my remaining time to be offered to Mrs. Ortega.
Thank you. Next, we have Georgina Ortega, Angel.
My name's Georgina Ortega. I reside in the city of Las Vegas here. I also am a board of trustees with the Las Vegas Land Grant. And this issue with the land being zoned, rezoned, so forth, it's a big issue. Right now, the Las Vegas Land Grant is up against someone else who's trying to claim 2,500 acres. So this is, whether it's 1 acre or 2,500 acres, we need to verify that that land was acquired and that it is not part of the common lands. So before you decide on anything, please set aside so we can confirm that these lands were acquired properly and that they were not part of the common lands. Common lands in the Treaty of Guadalupe were for everybody and never to be sold. Also, common lands in the Las Vegas Land Grant, we own, the people own the oil, the gas, the silver, the minerals, all of it. So all of these revenues that the state of New Mexico is getting right now is on common lands. And those common lands are right here in San Miguel County. So I would love to see in the future some type of a committee that goes through, or we work together to verify that those lands were acquired properly and that they are not common lands. And you can contact us at any time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, we have Leslie Hammer. Hamilton.
Hi, I've got one of those hyphenated names. My name is Leslie Hamill Turk. And I'm speaking today, thank you, Madam Chair and Commissioners, for this opportunity. And I am basically following up on the June 27th hearing where we were discussing the hard rock mining issue up in near Torero. And I've had more thoughts on using the oil and gas ordinance as the basis for the hard rock mining. And it occurred to my husband, Brad Turk, and I, that a thought would be to have one ordinance. Basically use the oil and gas ordinance as it stands, but then it could be for all extraction type activities. Okay, so hard rock mining, be that copper, silver, gold, whatever. Actually, also the helium that Pat Lehan was referring to, as well as rare earth elements. So anything that is involved in some sort of an extraction process, we feel like could be bundled into one ordinance. And like I said, the oil and gas ordinance would be the basis, and the baseline testing and having to pay the upfront costs of the activity. So what is a thought would be that when a company or an individual comes in requesting a permit for their activity from San Miguel County, part of the process would be that depending on what they intended to extract, that the county would hire an expert to determine what would be the components that you would be looking for in the follow-up testing of water, air, and soil that is in the oil and gas ordinance as it exists. But as I brought up at that previous hearing, we need to know the specifics of what you're looking for. What are the potential waste products that are going to be coming down the river or whatever that we would be testing for, and so they would be responsible for, okay? So part of the oil and gas ordinance is, as the permitting process goes on, whoever wants to perform the activity is going to be paying fees. So what had gone on right after the oil and gas ordinance was enacted was San Miguel County put out a bid for a company to be on retainer if somebody came along and wanted to drill. So as far as I know, that company should still be on retainer. Now, of course, we were gearing it more specifically towards oil and gas, but the same sort of thing I would think could go on here as well. And it wouldn't necessarily be one individual, right? It would be a search for the proper individual that would know the activity, basically. I mean, so anyway, I just, as we kind of discussed all this, it seemed like it might be an interesting avenue for the county to think about, because you've got this really robust ordinance already on the book, as we were already saying, and gosh, that was so much work. So it could save a lot of work by looking at it this way is the way we look at it. And then you don't have to pre-guess what is the possibility of this particular activity going on in the county at some future point. It doesn't matter. If it's anything that has to do with extraction and it's going to produce potential wastes and hazards, it falls under the ordinance, and then we research it. So thank you very much for considering these ideas.
Thank you. That concludes public input forum. Now we'll move on to new business. We have the oath of office for San Miguel County Detention Center. If I can have Fernando Lopez and Jonathan Montoya come to the front. And before we begin, I'd like to say thank you for all the hard work you guys do for the San Miguel County Detention Center. I appreciate the hard work you do for our county, and thank you again. I'm going to read the oath of office, and I'd like for you to follow me, okay? I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Mexico. That I will follow all policies and procedures of San Miguel County and the San Miguel County Detention Center. And that I will faithfully, impartially, and to the best of my ability discharge all duties of detention officer. Congratulations.
Commissioners, audience, officer, Lopez, and
Thank you. Next, we have the presentations. These presentations will be limited to 5 minutes. First on the agenda, we have the presentation from NMSU 4-H Extension Office. Can you please come to the podium and identify yourself?
Madam Chair, members of the Commission, my name is Patrick Torres. I'm the Northern District Department Head for Cooperative Extension Service. And 4-H is a program of the Cooperative Extension Service. And thank you for the opportunity to visit with you all this afternoon. Basically, first and foremost, I would like to introduce the new employee that we have here for San Miguel County, John Martinez. If you'll stand. John will be serving as your county extension agent, and he's a native of San Miguel County, and so that's certainly a big advantage when we place some of our extension agents, that they will have familiarity with the county. And so anyway, our last extension agent resigned back in September of 2018, and so I tried to serve San Miguel County as best as I could from afar, and ran in from Santa Fe as time allowed me to do some programming, especially for the 4-H program. And starting in late summer and early fall, I was involved with the youth here, helping them with their grooming and fitting of livestock for county fair, and also supported the county fair board during the 2018 county fair. And then, of course, getting into the fall, I worked with the 4-H County Council to help them get their 4-H awards program executed and make it happen to recognize the achievements of the youth. And of course, we started the new 4-H year in October 1st of 2018 and it's going on through September 30th. And so I am pleased to inform you that we have 84 youth in the traditional program. And so now with Mr. Martinez, once school starts, we have also what's called school enrichment programming, where he too will be addressing or visiting with some of the school youth and educating, doing some STEM education, if you will. A couple of the programs that seem to be thriving real well, in addition to the livestock programs in San Miguel County, are shooting sports and 4-H rodeo. We have youth that are participating in pretty strong in those and representing San Miguel County. In addition to 4-H programming, we have a Master Gardener program that has started this spring here in San Miguel County. We have 18 people participate in the Master Gardener program, which is a 16-week course on horticulture. Help with by ranchers. And so with that, I would like to offer Mr. Martinez the floor if he would like to share a word or two, and then we'll stand ready for any questions that you all may have.
I'd just like to make it a point, thank all the commissioners and everybody else for supporting our 4-H program and the Extension Office, and I look forward to working with everyone involving the community and the commission. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does that conclude your presentation?
That's it.
I have a question, Madam Chair. Hi, Mr. Torres. I welcome Mr. Martinez. Where is the office located where you'll be?
It's located by the State Hospital on 20 Gallegos Road. It's behind the Public Health Office.
Is there an office there for the extension? Is there currently an office? Thank you. Welcome.
Any other question? Commissioner Garcia?
Madam Chair, Mr. Torres and Mr. Martinez, I've had the opportunity to attend several of the county fair board meetings the past few months. They've invited me. And, one of the things that I would like to see as a county commissioner that we're lacking is expanding in the rodeo area for the county. I've had the conversation with Mr. Martinez a few times, and I'm just going on record that I'd like to, you go to other counties. We were in Socorro County last year. We were in Curry County this year, and they've got facilities that these facilities bring a lot of attraction. They provide entertainment and recreation and growth for the youth. And I think that San Miguel County is lacking in that area. And I would hope that through the County Extension Office, I know that I think you're 2 staff people, right? And if I'm not mistaken, you're 2 full-time staff people?
Yes, that's correct.
It's a start. It's a start. I know that 2 full-time staff people can do a lot. And if we see progress, I think that eventually we could maybe expand the County Extension Office. So I'd like to see that if at all possible. The horticulture area, I'm glad that you're doing that. I come from the horticulture family, and I would like for that to continue and maybe expand, share that with the rest of the county, not just in isolated areas, if you could do that.
Any other questions? No questions. Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity once again. And again, if you all ever have any questions, concerns that you'd like to share with me, please don't hesitate to contact me. Okay.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Next, we have a presentation by San Miguel County Family and Community Health Council. Presenter, Ms. Barbara Casey.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Commissioners and County Manager, for inviting us to speak to you today about the needs of the San Miguel County Health Council. As you probably already know, we don't receive a lot of money from the state. We receive $4,488 a year, and that doesn't go very far. We do work for them through an MOU that we put together annually, and that money is very, very minimal. The $10,000 we're requesting of the county is to help pay for the salary of our part-time health coordinator and her expenses associated with the deliverables we have from the county. The focal point of the county deliverables is suicide prevention and intervention. To that end, we have gathered, with the help of our UNM partners, county-wide suicide rates for persons aged 60 years and over. Our coordinator has made presentations to civic groups in Las Vegas. She has made presentations to 4 different school districts, Pecos, Huatros, Wagon Mound, in both Las Vegas school districts, and has organized public health forums and health fairs in the Las Vegas Senior Citizen Center, the Pecos Senior Center, and the Senior Circle at Alta Vista Regional Hospital. Additionally, we have developed partnerships with such entities as AARP, Education Retirees Association, Senior Olympics, Senior Circle, State Agency on Aging, and the UNM Tree Center, focusing on community engagement in eliminating the stigma of suicide and the causes of suicide in people of all ages, with emphasis on the elderly. Our proposed budget includes money for gathering statistical information, for presentations, and we plan to do 8 of them this coming fiscal year, travel and mileage, printing of materials for distribution, office supplies, postage, and room rental for community forums. We appreciate your continued support for the San Miguel Family and Community Health Council, and look forward to working with you as our partners in our combined efforts to improve the quality of life for our citizens and to make our county a better place in which to live. I would also like to add that the Health Council here, and I'm very proud of this fact, is that we continue to be one of the most highly commended health councils in the state. And for a small health council like we have here, that's quite a big feat. And because of that, we are being studied by UNM. And UNM is studying and analyzing our best practices and how we have been able to succeed with all the things that we do every year. I did give Mr. Trujillo a handout that he was going to put up on the screen, but I guess with the clock, I guess you can't do that. But anyway, all of you have on your desk this San Miguel County United. This came from a public forum that we had with the community and the people from UNM. They were so impressed with the unity that the community had for us and the support that we have from the community, that they put this together, and you'll see that the San Miguel County Commission is highlighted up here so that they know that you are a very strong community partner, and we appreciate that very much. I'm going to turn the program over to Rosalie, because Rosalie is the most amazing person, and through her work with the Health Council, she has actually saved lives with the suicide prevention work that she does. And I want you to have the opportunity to hear it firsthand from her.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rosalie Martinez. I have my master's in social work, and I have my instructor certification in suicide prevention and awareness. And I'm so blessed to be able to bring it to our community. I enjoy working with the youth, but with your deliverable, I'm able to work with the elders. And working with the elders has brought so much, not only to myself, but to the community. Going and working with them a couple of weeks ago at the Alta Vista Regional Hospital, I was able to target 2 of our very important seniors in our community who had suicidal ideation. who thought that there was nothing for them here in Las Vegas. They thought that they spoke about it, they were stupid. They had no idea about any resources. So I was able to target them through them signing in. And I was able to follow them and make sure that they were okay. I got a phone call that night asking me to go, and I will be presenting to the senior circle at Alta Vista at the end of this month because they requested it for me to go. These women came to me to ask me to talk to them, to show them what is available to them. One lady told me, I didn't know nothing was here for me. I thought I was stupid because my kids tell me there's nothing wrong with me. Oh my God, that broke my heart. So what you guys allow me to do with a deliverable from the county was to save these two women's lives. I do clubs and organizations. I do students. I did one at a local high school. A week later, I was called. Ms. Martinez, they're asking for you. I dropped everything and I ran to that school. And I come in with my books and everything that I was taught at the University of Colorado. I didn't need that. What the girl needed was she needed me. She needed my resource information. At no time was I there to be a social worker, clinical worker, but to be an advocate for our community, for our county. And I presented her with the help that she needed. Today I see her. In fact, I saw her this weekend and it was so nice to see her, that she's okay. Our seniors need help. We sometimes forget about our seniors. I go to anywhere that I'm invited, whether it's the Elks, whether it's at the Hillcrest, whether it's where they're serving food, whatever any club or organization needs me, I'm there with your help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. What you do.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your support greatly.
Thank you.
Next, we have a presentation from the Samaritan House. Presenter George F. Lyon.
Honorable Madam Chair, Commissioners, and County Manager, thanks for letting me talk about your Samaritan House, our Samaritan House today. My name is George Francis Lyon, and I'm the Executive Director. Have been for the last 3 years, well, actually going on 3 years. I come from Highlands University, first over here as in the Political Science Pre-Law Studies Department. Last year, the county provided Samaritan House $30,000 to further its mission of helping those who are hungry and feeding those who are hungry. Your help has been far-reaching, and I'm going to provide you with a list of statistical data that we were able to put together, the amount of services we provided to your community, to our community. We provided over 1,100 housing-related services to the people of San Miguel. We fed over 5,700 families. Those are households, not just individuals, 5,700 households with emergency food baskets. And we provided over 1,200 overnight stays in our emergency shelter in just a 6-month period of time. We also provided what many of us probably take for granted: shower tickets, laundry vouchers, bus fare. And UNM provides us with social workers in the intern, during their internships, and we've expanded that to the master's level. These are just a few of the accomplishments that we've done in the last year with your help. We are now working toward another project called the Department of Support and Outreach Services, also known as SOS. It provides extensive case management, mentorship, job training, life skills, and anything else someone would need to become as self-sufficient and viable to our community as necessary. In 2018, we provided matter of balance courses to people in the community, senior citizens who were afraid of falling and breaking a bone. We opened up our harm reduction program, in which we invite individuals to give us their used needles and syringes in lieu of leaving them in our community. And we just started our diaper depot, where we are now able to provide diapers to people in the community free of charge. But that was 2018, 2019. Here's our goals for the coming 2019, 2020. We will be moving into our new location at 501 7th Street, which we currently have purchased and are currently renovating. We'll continue to provide public input in all information sessions and their ability to affect change in our policies and procedures at Samaritan House, because we really want to become the best neighbor anyone could ever have. We are in the final stages of being awarded our newest grant, called the Youth Homeless Demonstration Grant, where we will have close to $150,000 available to house youth 18 to 20 for off the streets and provide them with all the services that they would need to become viable citizens, including the cost of their education, vocation training, mentorship. We're really, really excited, and we're waiting final word from HUD as to that award in the end of July. Through Samaritan House's Department of Support and Outreach Services, and with our local partners like the Workforce Commission and post-secondary institutions, we believe over time we will have a significant positive impact over the spiraling poverty rate in not only San Miguel, but in Las Vegas, New Mexico. We are going to become much more than providing for the emergency needs of the individuals. We're going to affect positive change that will help them to sustain a safe, healthy lifestyle. Thanks. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody have any questions?
I do.
Commissioner Nahara?
You're providing overnight shelter to, on an average of 186 people per night?
Say that again, sir?
The average housing per night.
Oh, no. The shelter cap's about 18, and it's a seasonal shelter. It opens in October, and then it closes in March. And out of those 1,200 you're seeing?
Yes.
Are a variety of programs. So we have several HUD programs and Mortgage Finance Authority programs too, that we're able to house people.
Well, you're helping an amazing amount of people. Thank you for that. You're doing a
Yes,
great
sir.
job.
We're honored to do it, and we're honored to follow your all's actually your very mission statement, and that's to to provide safety to your people and education. And we really appreciate the opportunity to serve and be part of that. Thanks.
Can you tell me the name of that grant that you're going to be getting for the youth?
It's called Youth Homeless Demonstration Grant, or YHDG.
Okay, and will they be able to stay there? They'll be housed there, or
The way that it'll
how many
work-
beds will you have available?
The way that we're pairing them up. By the way, I should share with you that HUD thought we were cutting edge. They want to replicate the way that we set it up, but we're pairing these youth together. So if there's two youth going into the nursing program, for example, they'll be sharing their own apartment that we will pick up the bill for. So the program caps at, I believe, 12 separate entities, but they rotate. So over the term of a year, they could be there. They can be there up to 2 years. But if they're on their feet before that by getting a vocation or getting income coming in that's enough to support themselves, then it opens up the slot again to the next individual. So.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Madam Chair.
Manager Martinez?
Mr. Lyons, can you explain the shower tickets and how that works?
Yes, sir. So we have individuals in our community that come in that don't have access to a shower, believe it or not. And so we made arrangements with the rec center to buy tickets from them that we can give them so they can take a shower at the rec center. So we pick up the bill for that. Big demand, laundry. I was amazed with the laundry, to tell you the truth. And by the way, we inject thousands of dollars into this community. We're not just parasitic. We spend $6,000 a month renting from private individuals in our community. Everything that we have that we provide out, either we bought it through generous donations of somebody, but it stays in our community. It really helps our community.
And the new location that you'll be moving to, what's the square footage of that building?
It's 5,000 square feet. What it will have different than what we have now is it's going to have a day center. So instead of having people that are from a variety of different places, mental health, group homes, walking all over the community, they'll have a place that they can stay. Therefore, we have access to them, and we can probe what's their next step. Can we get you a vocation? Can we get you a hobby? And work that way instead of them just wandering around in our community.
Thank you.
And the capacity is the same. I'm sorry?
Mr. Lyons, do you have other government entities that provide funding? Does the City of Las Vegas provide any funding to your organization?
The City of Las Vegas provides $20,000 to us. So.
One last question and I'll be done. So the food, are you still getting the food for the families that go eat there in the evenings from the restaurants, local restaurants? Are they still doing the donation for that? Or how is that working? How are you getting the food for our people?
It's both. It's donations from several restaurants in our community. And then the food, it's leftovers from the food kitchens, the 2 food kitchens that we have, or we buy it. We have a backup stock of food and a microwave that we will microwave, like burritos or whatever. Something that's fast, and that's how we provide that meal. That one is exploding too. We're up to 22 people a night coming in, and it's changed. We used to just feed them, but now we assess them. Come and eat with us, and if they come a second night, what's going on? You know, can we help you with some housing? Can we direct you to apply for food stamps? We're certified now to help people apply for food stamps if that's what they need. But we're now more scientific than we've been in the past. So we're really excited about that ability.
Well, I want to say thank you to you and Ms. Lopez for the hard work that you guys do for our Samaritan House.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Next, we'll move on to presentation from the senior program presenter, Wanda Salazar.
Good afternoon, County Commission, County Managers. I'm Wanda Salazar. I'm the manager for the Senior Center program. I have my bachelor's in social work from New Mexico Highlands University. I've been working with the senior program for 4 years, and I do have a handout I'd like to go ahead and give out. The senior centers are funded through Area Agency on Aging. It is non-metro Area Agency on Aging. The non-metro gets funding from the federal and the state government to fund senior centers throughout the state of New Mexico. In addition to that, we also get funding from our local entities, to include the San Miguel County. You all are gracious to give us $75,000 to operate 3 senior centers in San Miguel County, to include the Las Vegas Senior Center, the Pecos Senior Center, and the San Miguel Senior Center. We also get $75,000 from the City of Las Vegas, and then we also get $22,000 from the Village of Pecos. And that is all into trying to make us whole. What we get from non-metro Area Agency on Aging varies from year to year. It never seems to be consistent. I'll review a little bit of that more in detail in the future, or in a little bit. So I wanted to just kind of give you a brief idea of the types of services that we provide. Congregate services are provided in all 3 sites. Congregate is meals that are served at the senior center to the seniors in all 3 sites. And so we provide breakfast and lunch in Las Vegas. We provide lunch in Pecos and in San Miguel. We opened the San Miguel Senior Center a year ago. It is working 4 hours a day. We cook here in Las Vegas, and we actually transport in a hotshot truck to San Miguel at this point. My plan for that site is actually to expand it, make it a full-time site. I am short 2 employees out there, and so we're having to pull staff to continue services out there. But the seniors that come in, we are seeing up to 20, 25, some days are slower, but up to 20, 25 seniors per day, which is really nice. We do provide congregate there. Again, it's in at the center. We provide home delivery meals to San Miguel, which is we serve 14 to 16 seniors per day through a hotshot truck that we actually take out meals to the seniors. And then we also provide transportation. And then in the Las Vegas Center, we provide up to 400 meals between congregate and home delivery. 270 meals are provided for the home delivery program. We have 4 hotshot trucks that go out every day and 4 routes that will deliver meals to the seniors in Las Vegas. We also provide about 100 breakfast and lunch meals combined daily. And the Pecos Senior Center, that program is doing really well. We also provide their congregate meals. We've been expanding services there. This past year, we got funded through Area Agency on Aging for Tai Chi services. It's called evidence-based. And so we have John Arnold, who is providing Tai Chi services here in Las Vegas 4 days a week. And then we have Michael DeMarco, who provides Tai Chi in Pecos. When we actually open San Miguel full-time, then we'll look at those additional services there as well. We do get reimbursed for those services at this time. In addition to that, fiscal years, I wanted to kind of give you an insight about the changes that are going on financially in senior programs. This past fiscal year that just ended, which was fiscal year 18-19, we were actually budgeted to do 105,000 units. That's how we get reimbursed, is by unit. And so we were on track to hit about 113,000 units. In April, or late March, we were given $116,000 by the state to provide an additional, I think it was about 19,000 units to end now June 30th. Getting that money and trying to reach those goals, it increased our congregate units by like 6,000 units. We were, there's no way we could have earned these units or earned this money in such a short period of time, though we tried. Home delivery, luckily, we were already on schedule to hit. They gave us an additional 10,000 units there. We were already in schedule to hit those, so it didn't affect us there. Transportation, they gave us additional and also in evidence-based. But my point here is that there was no way we were going to hit those goals. Well, this fiscal year, they cut us. They cut us $200,000 for this fiscal year. Their reason for doing that, they're claiming, is that the state funding was allocated a little bit more to the south, so we had a huge cut in state money. In addition to that, they also cut our federal, well, actually, they're going to contract with us exactly to what our federal is right now. But with the state cut that we received, they also reduced our units. And so currently, they're wanting to contract with us for services that, we're going to exceed. We're already exceeding our budgets, and they're wanting to reduce us. And so I've been in communication with non-metro, but the goal or the hope is that the federal government will come back in the second quarter and make us whole. And so, hoping that does happen, but that's an example of how the fluctuation in funding happens. And then the funding that we do receive, the hope, again, through the legislature, and the plan is that hopefully now in January, that we actually can go into the legislature and advocate more for seniors. because the senior programs, seniors don't have, they only have what they've actually earned in their livelihoods. When they're 80 years old, they have Social Security. Many of them don't have retirement. And so, they don't have a big, they live on fixed incomes. And without these programs to help feed them and buy, transport them and, help to keep their health up, it just seems an injustice to the seniors. So that's the goal for this year, that non-metro area agency on aging, we are all looking as a state to actually advocate for seniors this year and hope that the state can actually push to advocate for seniors as well. And so we'll be looking at that. And so I also wanted to let you all know that the other challenge for senior programs is staff vacancies. In the past 6 months, it seems as though we have not been able to hire staff. We file all the paperwork on time. We do everything that we need to, and then when it comes down to it, staff, people just don't come in. And so we're continuously trying to fill these positions. Well, more vacancies happen. So I'm up to 5 vacancies now to try to manage 3 sites. I'm short an SCP, which is contracted through non-metro, and that's in Pecos. I'm short a cook and a driver helper in San Miguel. Those positions are much needed in order to open that site full time. So, and I'd like to hire someone in that area if possible. It is the City of Las Vegas position with retirement benefits. I mean, to be working and living in that area is a wonderful thing. And then the Las Vegas side, I'm also short 2 positions as well. So, that's a huge challenge, is trying to fulfill all the services and staff adequately. I wanted to give you all also an update on capital outlay. In the past, I've been with the senior programs for 4 years, and in that time, we have some capital outlay that we're working on. One is there's $101,000 capital outlay that was submitted or approved in 2015. It's been extended now to renovate a back parking lot. We did request last year $59,000 in kitchen equipment for the Las Vegas site, and we were funded that. $43,000 is an additional for the renovation of the north parking lot. That was funded as well. The Pecos Senior Center, we were funded $25,000 this legislative session, and so we'll be buying kitchen equipment there. And then in addition to that, non-metro AAA, we made it real clear to them that some of this kitchen equipment we can't buy for $10,000 or more, and that is the legislative requirement. So they did pass a request for $400,000 that did pass at the legislature, and so we will be getting a piece of that, and that's for like steam tables and so forth. And then requested this fiscal year, we have an HVAC unit upgrade in Pecos. We have $29,000 for kitchen equipment in San Miguel. We have vehicles for San Miguel for $225,000, electrical and drainage $50,000 in Las Vegas, an HVAC system $315,000, and south parking lot for $1 million. And that is to actually level the parking lot in Las Vegas. We have seniors who are climbing a hill to get to the local senior center here in Las Vegas. Raining, snowing seasons, and we have seniors climbing. And so that's what we're looking at there. And so I just wanted to say that my staff are very dedicated. We are all very, very dedicated to our seniors in San Miguel County. I want to thank you all for helping and being considerate for our seniors, for helping us in every which way we can to continue to bring these programs. Without your help, the city's help, and all of us working together, some of our seniors would have to go without. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Salazar, and I'd like to say thank you to you and your staff for the hard work you do, the resources you provide to our seniors. Without you guys, it might not be possible. Thank you and your staff.
Yes, ma'am. Is there any questions? I'm sorry.
Yes, Madam Chair, I have a question. Yes, I want to echo what Chairwoman Maria said. I want to also thank you and for coming to Pecos. And I'm aware of, the growing demographic, and it's scary thinking of, my peers and myself being in that. But is the program prepared, and have you seen the numbers rise of seniors because of the baby boomers and the growing demographic?
They are growing. But I can say that attending many non-metro area agency on aging meetings, it is something that we bring to them and make them aware and let them know that, additional funding is going to be needed, because there are some that are starting to come in. But when I don't know so much that senior centers are yet really out there. I don't know that the communities really, come to the centers. And so I think once the word really gets out, and seniors really, we're going to really have an influx. And you're right, baby boomers, we have an influx of seniors that are coming of age 60, and I think will be coming to attend senior programs. So we are making it aware.
But is there funding going to meet the need, or is that it's not catching up with the demand?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Other than awareness, the funding is still not there.
So we need
no,
to
ma'am.
lobby our state and maybe federal governments to support seniors.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for that work that you do again.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Are there any other questions?
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next presentation, we have David F. Cargo Library presenter Rebecca Rodriguez Salazar.
Mr. Vidal Martinez, County Manager, San Miguel County, Commissioners, Madam Chair, Mr. Dave Romero, County Attorney, good afternoon. I am Aggie Ortega, President of the El Valle Community Center, which houses the David F. Cargo Library in Villanueva. I just want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to stand before you on behalf of the David F. Cargo Library and, of course, through the center. This last year has been a very busy year for us. With the continued financial support and assistance that San Miguel County has given us, this could not have happened without your support. As in business, we cannot continue to provide the services that we provide for El Valle and other visitors, and that's why we are requesting funding. It requires money to be able to operate, as you well know. Today, we come before you for assistance and request in providing funding to the only rural public library in the San Miguel County. Thank you for your continued support. And with this, I'll turn this over to Ms. Rebecca Salazar, and she can give you an overview of our accomplishments.
Thank you, Ms. Ortega. Good afternoon, County Manager and Commissioners. I am the Library Director of the David F. Cargo Library in Villanueva, which is housed at the El Valle Community Center. I am speaking on behalf of the community of El Valle to continue to provide the only reliable source of information for the community and to assist in turning around the poverty level and being a contributor to the future success stories of the young generation that will take over the community in years to come. With your support, we can continue what we have to offer and become an official public library. San Miguel County, you've agreed to be our fiscal agent for capital outlay. Thank you. Cargo Public Library is even more motivated and ambitious to implement more services such as after-school care and other programs. I even talked to a couple of people today about some possibilities of programs for our library/community center. We currently have 2 dedicated rooms to the library, and we are overflowing and expanding into a 3rd room. The library has visited the local Valley School, elementary and middle school, to read with kids during National Library Week in April. We gave out 5 Kindles. We have made a visit and read to the kids also during the summer school just last month at the Valley Elementary, and we had a lot of fun. We plan on doing more visits during the next school year. The library team frequents the local San Miguel Senior Citizen Center to have lunch, to talk with the seniors, and exchange books. We build other professional relationships with the Literacy Council, schools, and foundations. We continue to maintain the opening hours as required with the State of New Mexico Library. We're open Wednesday through Friday afternoons, special events, and education and training classes. On Saturday, August 10th at 5 p.m., we will be having an open house, and all of San Miguel County and commissioners are invited. It will be at 5 p.m. You'll be able to tour the facility. We have installed reading nooks in the hallways. We will have vendors up and down the hallways with educators providing information such as the census. The New Mexico Help and other educational institutions will have a vendor table. We will also be celebrating the newly erected historical marker, which was just approved in April 2019. It was just erected in June of 2019, and it took us a year to get that. It was very beautiful. You need to see it. With paid staff, San Miguel County support, we're able to apply for more grants, which has given us leverage as a better established professional agency, and we were able to obtain small grants from Bread for the Journey to acquire library software. From Southwest Capital, we're able to rent a 26-foot U-Haul to obtain uniform shelving from Farmington Library. From the Con Alma Foundation, we're able to hire 2 temporary paid staff to enter books, and they are scheduled to be employed until October. With the State of New Mexico Library, we are meeting all of our state requirements into becoming a public library. This is our 3rd year that we are filing our annual report, so we are more than eligible to become a public library between the 3 and 5 year period. The ENMR grant, the San Miguel County has provided half of that matching grant. We are currently working on that deliverable from now until December, which is implementing computer training, which will be held this month and continuing on. So these are a lot of accomplishments that we have had in the past fiscal year. And without your belief in our capabilities, we could not be where we are today. Again, thank you for listening, County Manager Martinez and Commissioner, and for assisting us in planning the route for the future. All of you have stated that you support and buy-in. We are grateful and indebted to you for that. We hope you to continue the business and financial support for the library and its initiative in the new fiscal year. The David F. Cargo Library is the only reliable source for information, resources, and access. We have a large print collection, the main source for free Wi-Fi and computer access, educational opportunity, and library of books of all topics, plus office services, which is notary, printing, and copying. Thank you very much for listening and your support.
Any questions? No questions? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate the services you bring to the valley.
Okay, thank you very much. We hope to see you at the open house.
Yes, August 10th.
Yes,
Thank you.
please come back. Thank you.
Next, we have presenters Jessica Sena, Asphalt Pavement Association of New Mexico, Anita Evans, Sealmaster, Terrell Wade, and Corey Payton, Holly Frontier.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Commissioners, and County Manager Martinez. My name is Jessica Sena. I do live here in Las Vegas, New Mexico. Grew up here. I'm retired NMDOT roadway construction for 25 years. and am currently the technical specialist for the Asphalt Pavement Association of New Mexico. While last month attending the Association of Counties Equipment Rodeo in Curry County, we had live demonstrations one was provided by CO Master. And I was talking with Commissioner Harold Garcia about seeing how receptive he would be if I was able to bring a couple contractors, suppliers coming in and doing a demonstration on one of our roadways. We all know our roads here are not in very good condition. We need to expend our money as far as we can till you guys have the money for rehab. So we're looking at maintenance projects. This afternoon we went out to El Llano Road, where we'll be doing 1.5 miles in August of 2 different products. I'm going to try to get another contractor to come in to go ahead and finish that road out. I'd like to introduce Anita Evans with Seal Master. She's going to tell you her process, and she's got a quick demo. And Terrell Wade is with Holly Frontier Asphalt, and he'll talk about the fog seal project.
Good afternoon. My name is Anita Evans. I work for Sealmaster, as Jessica said. I had a longer demonstration, but I'm going to cut to the portion where I did the demo in Clovis at the Association of Counties Rodeo. We sell maintenance pavement products. This is PMM. It's our polymer modified master seal. It goes over existing asphalt, existing chip seal roads, new chip seal roads that have been down for about a month. And it's a 2-coat process, and it has 2 pounds of sand for 1 gallon of emulsion. This is the video for that, which we did in Clovis on top of new chip seal. I don't know how to make it play. Diego's got it. There we go. So that is our, go ahead and click play. That is our 2,500 gallon truck that holds, and it has an agitation tank, and it pressure sprays the material out. It requires a driver and 2 gentlemen on the back, and 2,500 will go probably 1.5 miles at 24 wide for a single coat application. 2 coat would of course double that. It takes a little bit to dry, a couple hours usually. We tell people 2 to 6 hours. Depending on the weather, it could be quicker before you would have to apply the 2nd coat. After it dries, the next day you could stripe it, so your striping would pop because it dries jet black.
Technical difficulties. While we are waiting on that, I would like to reiterate, these companies are, donating their time and their material for this. I hope, I extend all of you guys. We will be also inviting Lora counties, Pecos counties, as many people, City of Las Vegas, as we can get there. This is, the public likes to see our roadways. Everybody's complaining about them. I'm sure you guys complain about them. I complain about them, and I've done them for almost 30 years now. The public likes to see black roads. They like to see black roads, bright stripes. This is also a maintenance project that's going to buy you at least 2 to 5 years before you may have to redo it, or until you can get money to start rehabbing your roads. I believe both options are excellent products and procedures for maintenance. In this case, we're giving to you. We're not asking for anything except to come and look at the roadways. Are we going to get this?
Well, if it doesn't play, Harold has access to it, or we can email it to you guys so you can see it individually as well. If we want to go ahead and go to Holly's presentation.
We'll be doing basically 1/2 mile of Steel Master, full width, 2 coats, and then we're going to go with the fog seal.
All right. Thank you all for having us. My name's Terrell Wade. I do work for Holly Frontier. We provide a whole gambit of preventive maintenance products. Fog seal is one of them. So, without getting too long in the process, a fog seal is merely a product that extend your pavement life. If the pavement's not any good, if it is already deteriorated to the point that you can't just add asphalt back to it, then you're not going to do any good with Fox Seal. So it is one part of what you do. What Sealmaster does and what we do are similar processes with a similar objective, different material to do the same sort of thing. So if you go through, and I won't go through all of this, but if you can get a fog seal on a roadway before it starts to deteriorate, you'll save money. You may have to do this every 3-4 years, but that's the idea behind a fog seal. It saves you money in the long run. You'll notice that a fog seal will be black. It will make the road look new, fresh. The traveling public will be happy with it. You can do a chip seal and then cover it up with a fog seal, which will make it look more like a new road and substantially cheaper than reconstruction. A couple of pictures of the process, shooting the product. There's about an hour to 3 hour dry time, similar to the material. If you have to drive traffic across it, you can. You sand it right away. You let traffic go across it. It doesn't hurt anything. Unlike the PMM, there isn't any sand in this material, so it doesn't add extra material. All it does is add asphalt. So 1 to 3 hours, depending on the formulations and weather, temperature. If it's humid, you don't get nearly the same. You don't get it to break as fast. It takes longer to dry. But for the most part, you can do this in the morning and send traffic on it in the afternoon, and the public is happy. You can have a nice, pretty black road. Your stripes pop. I wouldn't recommend the second picture there where somebody has come in and striped the road first and then fog sealed around it. You will not make the traveling public happy. And the last picture is just an over application that once you do something like that, you sand it and you have to get it off the road. So it's not foolproof. That's the end of mine.
Our time frame we're looking at is probably the second week of August. We'll be working with Carol to schedule that, probably the week of the 12th. It doesn't take that long to put it down. Your process is for your half a mile, 2 coats, 2 hours.
It'll dry in 2 hours, and then we can put the second coat, and you guys will have it back at the latest by 2 o'clock in the afternoon if we start at 8. So you guys will be great.
And we'll do one. We'll probably start with Sealmaster, have them come through.
You can probably do both of them at the same time. You're going to have traffic control in place anyways, the road swept. Yeah, I think so.
We can do
I
one
think
side
you can
and then
do one side, do that.
Yeah.
I think you can do it all at once.
Yeah. And then you can stripe it in a couple days.
Do you have any questions?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Garcia.
I'd like to thank Jessica, Anita, and Terrell for making this opportunity available to us. I really appreciate that you're doing this. I was part of the program in Clovis, and I saw the results, and they were very positive. They were well taken by the county commissioners and the county manager and the public there. And I truly believe that if we do ongoing maintenance, such as what you're going to demo to us, that it will allow us to extend the life of our roads. I will give you my word that I'm going to do as much as I can with public relations for this. I think that the city could stand to benefit real big from this because, they need our help. And I'm not trying to be in any way negative. I think we need to be positive, and I think that if we can partner with Mora County, with Quay County, with Colfax County, Eagle Nest, Angel Fire, the city of Las Vegas, I think that we could probably have a very successful demonstration. And I know that it's not costing us a dime, and that's the biggest part for me because that shows that you're here to do something good for all of us. I think at the end, it's going to be a win-win for all of us. So I want you to know that I truly appreciate this.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Madam Chair?
Yeah.
Approximately what is a 2,500 gallon tank of this emulsion? What would the cost be to the county if we were to engage in a contract?
We donated probably 2,000 gallons at the Clovis job, and it ended up being about, with the truck and the crew, if you guys were to rent it, it came out to be about 10 cents a square foot for that application particularly. So that's a good rough number. We are not contractors. I cannot perform the work for you. You guys would have to have a contractor do it.
Sure.
So that was renting the equipment, and that's kind of the scenario we set up for you guys. So, and that was for one. That was for one coat. What we did in Clovis. So if you want 2 coats, it would be a little bit more. But when we do the demonstration out there, I'll get you a hard number so you guys will know and you guys will have it available to go
Appreciate
forward.
that.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next, we'll move on to regular order. Item number 1, resolution number 07-09-2019-0001. Presenter, Mr. Max Trujillo, Commissioner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On this resolution, in your comments, Mr. Aragon, did not fall on deaf ears. I listened to your comments, and for that, we were. I wanted to make this resolution as general as possible, without getting into too many details, and just encouraging our land management agencies, the U.S. Forest Service, namely, to consider wildlife corridors in our national forests and in our public lands. The Wildlife Corridors Act that Senator Udall is proposing is much more detailed, and it does include tribal interest, acequias, private landowners, and such. But the resolution I'm presenting today is just encouraging our land management agencies to take special consideration with respect to wildlife corridors, migration routes, and movement of wildlife, connectivity of landscapes. You know, we're learning now that some of the wildlife in our state didn't originate in our state. Some of our wildlife deer herds come 500 miles from Colorado and winter in New Mexico. There's a particular study done on the Rosa deer herd in southwest Colorado. They migrate all the way past Navajo Dam and down into those valleys. So it's especially important that you know, now during these forest plan, Santa Fe National Forest is undergoing their forest plan, that they take into consideration the migration and the movement of wildlife, and protect some, you know, some areas that deserve the protection, but protect everybody that's involved, including landowners, acequia parciantes, you know, cattle growers, everybody else. And that's the only reason why I asked for a very general resolution. It's not very detailed. So I will present this resolution for approval to the County Commission. It is a resolution in support of protecting wildlife corridors in the Upper Rio Grande Basin. Whereas in San Miguel County, New Mexico, our wildlife resources are fundamental to our history and culture and identity. And whereas for centuries, wildlife have been intertwined with the cultural fabric of the Upper Rio Grande Basin, and have been integral in supporting thriving civilizations, and our interactions with wildlife have fostered the creation of important cultural traditions which continue to be passed down today. And whereas wildlife species can move considerable distances to meet their daily, seasonal, ecological needs, and their movement often crosses multiple jurisdictional boundaries, including federal, state, tribal, and private lands. And whereas public lands and waters provide vital habitat for hundreds of wildlife species and also include important corridors for wildlife to safely move and migrate across larger landscapes. And whereas fragmentation such as roads, fences, development, and other human-created natural barriers are increasingly making it more difficult for wildlife species to migrate safely across landscapes. And whereas there exists a need and opportunity to foster increased collaboration among state, federal, tribal, natural resource managers to promote and protect landscape connectivity. And whereas land managers from the Santa Fe National Forest have a role in identifying and addressing the importance of the National Forest in establishing connectivity for wildlife to safely move and migrate across forest lands, and whereas special management areas such as the proposed Caja del Rio Wildlife and Cultural Interpretive Management Area is an area of profound cultural and historical significance, it is critical to wildlife, habitat, and connectivity. And whereas there exists a need and opportunity to foster increased collaboration among state, federal, and tribal natural resource managers to promote and protect landscape connectivity. And whereas recent polling in New Mexico shows widespread support for the protection of wildlife corridors in the state. Now, therefore, be it resolved that San Miguel County express support for and urges Congress to swiftly act to enact Wildlife Corridors Conservation Act in order to mitigate connectivity issues by establishing a grants program to support habitat connectivity for migrating wildlife species. And be it further resolved that the San Miguel County expresses support for the Santa Fe National Forest to adopt and establish special management areas that would provide protection for wildlife corridors. And be it finally resolved that a copy of this resolution shall be forwarded to the entire New Mexico congressional delegation to show support for the protection of wildlife corridors in the Upper Rio Grande Basin. Passed and approved this 9th day of July 2019.
Do I have a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Varela,
Second.
second by Commissioner Garcia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we have the 3-year building asset plan. Presenter, John Tiernan, Maintenance Supervisor.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
John.
I was asked to perform a building asset inspection on several county buildings, and I believe if you have the information in front of you. Also, I was asked to provide a 3-year capital improvement plan and also a capital improvement cost plan.
Madam Chair, Mr. Chairman, can you speak a little louder?
Yes. So, included in that plan is goals, of course, and the goals are listed on page 1. Would you like me to read the goals, or? You would. The plan goals are to ensure project presented for maintenance, repairs, renovations, building maintenance, preventive maintenance, grounds, and contractual maintenance agreements are performed to meet the standards of San Miguel County. To minimize facility deterioration and avoid deferred maintenance to prevent excessive funding needs for future remedial work. To annually assess county building conditions, including physical adequacy of construction materials and fixed assets. To plan a 3-year short-term maintenance and improvement program. And under that, there is a process, and the process is the means in which to review the progress of these goals And the process is that every 4 months, the maintenance supervisor meets with the building principals, building managers, county managers, safety coordinator, finance, and elected officials to review plans progress. And then we have the building maintenance assessment, and that is a assessments of 7 of the county buildings. And then we have the exterior building capital improvement 3-year plan, and those are estimated timeframes in which to complete the goals specified. And the last portion of this is the capital improvement project cost. And then we have the price quotes, and these are contractors submitting price quotes provided on-site inspections. And the price quotes submitted by various contractors are to support the project cost. And then there is a note, not all of the price quotes have been received, therefore some project costs are not backed by actual price quotes, but are estimated based upon previous experience.
Are there any questions?
I have a question, several questions.
Commissioner
And it's
Garcia?
probably to our county manager. So I noticed that we don't have like the county buildings out at the county fairgrounds. And do we not have the public works facility at the airport complex here? And if not, how do we plan to pursue this type of program for those buildings? Same thing with the sheriff's office, same thing with the county detention center, same thing with the solid waste transfer stations, the convenience centers. I know that that's required ongoing maintenance, and you know, we're liable for not just a few buildings, we're liable for all the buildings that the county owns. And so I'd like to see something reflective of each of these buildings, because, you know, for example, the district attorney building, I noticed that you noted that the DA wanted to do a 4-pipe system for the HVAC, but in your proposal for funding, it doesn't reflect that.
That's right, because I believe that is being, that the funds for that are being secured from another source. I believe that is going through Dr. Martinez, I'm not really sure of that funding.
Madam Chair, members of the commission, that would be through capital outlay. The
Capital outlay.
district attorney is requesting approximately $580,000 through capital outlay.
But shouldn't that be part of our, you know, because you have to include it somehow as some kind of a cost in order to, if you're gonna apply for capital outlay, you have to have a paper trail in place. And I noticed that this doesn't have that. You know, it's a nice document, but if we're going to seek capital outlay funds, we need to have legwork done to justify that such a system is needed. I know that the district attorney is also willing to contribute, I think, $250,000 of it.
Madam Chair, members of the commission, the district attorney is requesting a 4-pipe system, but I don't believe that the current system is broken. In other words, I don't know if that is a need or a want.
Well,
Mr. Chairman, can you elaborate on that?
The system is working fine. It is an older system, and there is additional work that they may have to do over there from time to time, but the system is functioning properly.
well, I'm gonna have to interject there, because I know that the finance office has a separate system from the rest of the building here, and I know that because I was responsible for that. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Tiernan, but in the fall, when it starts getting cold, they make a request that the air conditioner be turned off.
Correct.
So then you go on a 3-day weekend and the air conditioner is off, they come back on a Tuesday, and the building is cold because the heater, or the building is too hot because the air conditioner has been turned off. In the spring, it does the opposite. And so a four pipe system would change that. It would do it by itself. You would set your thermostat at a certain temperature, and it would program itself. If the temperature is too hot, then it'll turn the air conditioner on. If it's too cold, it'll turn the heater on. Now what you're having to do is you're having to go manually and do it manually. And so I could see the district attorney wanting to make that change, because he's got like 40-some staff people come Tuesday morning after a 3-day weekend. They're having to adjust themselves rather than the building adjust itself. And so.
Correct. This building works off a 4-pipe system, so I'm aware of that function. And they do request that during the fall, that the heating system is started and that the air conditioning is stopped. We also have a 2-pipe system on the 3rd floor of this building, and that runs the finance department. Again, they have to come out here and they have to shut off the unit, the chilling unit, to supplies AC to the finance department and turn on the heating. If I don't remember too much of a complaint from the finance department on the amount of time it takes to switch from heating to cooling.
And so you don't anticipate that as being something that we need to look at in the future, Mr. Manager, because it's working now? It doesn't make sense to me.
Madam Chair, members of the commission, on the ICIP list that will be presented, I think that is item number 7. We have the district attorney building HVAC replacement system at $450,000.
Right.
I did speak to him and I indicated to the district attorney that we will add that to the ICIP, but he would have to lobby the legislature for that particular funding.
And so we wouldn't lobby ourselves? Because it's a county facility.
Correct. The commission would have to make a decision on what would be our priorities. And right now it's listed as number 13 on the list.
I have a concern there. I mean, the equipment is working properly. It's just not going on and off. So somebody manually has to go and do that for it to function correctly.
Right.
To me, I don't see that as an immediate issue that we need to address right at this point. I mean, I think that the county probably has other issues that we need to fix immediately rather than something that's functioning right now.
Well, I agree with you, but at a minimum, it needs to be identified, and it's not identified here. That's what I'm saying. It's not identified here as a potential cost with regards to maintenance. We don't have that cost on the 3rd floor either. And so that concerns me, because as the manager in charge of buildings, Mr. Tiernan, you need to look at the big picture, not just what's going on now. You need to have a forecast ahead of you. And I don't see a forecast here, and that bothers me.
Well, and I think what Mr. Chairman is doing is he's putting something together and probably looking for us to help him to plan, to make the plan, to identify areas that need to be improved or need to be changed. I don't think it's something that he knows what he's identified, that on this building too, there's issues that need to be brought up into this plan. All he has to do is put the items in the plan, identify them, and what the cost is going to be to fix them.
Madam Chair? I'm sorry, Mr. Garcia.
Varela?
Commissioner, I didn't to interrupt you. Go ahead and finish.
No, go ahead.
So I want to know, I'm looking for the ICIP list. So this 274,000, are these part of the inventory, the list on the ICIP? This list here? They overlap, they're and there, plus more, right?
Madam Chair, members of the commission, what John Tiernan has just presented would cost us approximately $274,000, and that's repair for maintenance and repair for 7 buildings. So on the ICIP, I think it's listed as number 4. We will request $250,000 in capital outlay for these for the repairs.
Okay, and another thing, Madam Chair, Manager, a couple of years ago, we had a presentation from, I believe it was Year Out, And we had approved as a commission, and we passed that resolution that we would have them do an energy audit for us on the county, and understand that you have told them that we do it internally. And, you know, with all this talk about energy and what Commissioner Garcia brought up, I want to know if we can engage in the services that we had agreed to have them do 2 years ago.
Madam Chair, members of the commission, I met with that organization. They indicated that they were willing to do it for free.
Yeah.
I asked for a proposal and an MOU before they would do that. I didn't want any outside entity looking at our records, going into our timer system without any contract or MOU agreement. Although they said it was free, there's going to be some added cost to it. So I did request for legal documentation from that company, and I never received it.
Okay, so the ball's in their court now.
Correct.
So can you move forward when you get that, if you can? Because I understand, you know, there's no such thing as a free lunch or comes with the price, but I thought that that was a service that would help us to get a handle on this issue we're talking about right now, on the energy audit, and eventually can save us money.
And I, Madam Chair?
Commissioner Trujillo?
And I also understand that, you know, in this assessment, there's more than energy. There's carpet and all kinds of stuff, which is understandable. But coming back to what Commissioner Varela said with regards to an energy assessment, I think that the county could benefit greatly from it if we could engage that. You know, there's a lot of options, and there's a lot of you know, a lot of movement in Santa Fe that would more than likely assist us in moving towards some kind of green energy for some of our county buildings and stuff. So I'd second Commissioner Varela's request to maybe look into that a little further.
Madam Chair, members of the commission, and I know Melinda was here at the time, and I know Mr. Tafoya, but I think this occurred about 5 years ago, where the county remodeled this facility and added new windows for energy efficiency, and also purchased an HVAC system for the detention center. And I know when these companies come in, the first thing they're going to look at are the HVAC systems and the windows. And I know Ms. Gonzalez, if you can elaborate on that. I don't know if there was a loan that we purchased that we got involved with. Can you give some specific information on that?
Madam Chair and Commissioners, I don't remember the exact date of the loan, but we did get a loan because our HVAC systems at the detention center started to fail, and they're just getting old, so the thought was to replace them. And then we also had outdated windows, so these are supposed to be energy efficient windows. They don't really know what it is that purpose. But we received an NMFA loan, and it's paid for a little bit over $300,000 maybe, and we're paying that from general GRT purpose funds. We still have to be on that for another, I don't have the information yet, but probably another 7 years.
Any other questions?
Madam Chair, members of the commission, in this asset report, it only identifies 7 buildings, correct?
Yes.
So what we would need to do is work on the county fairgrounds, public works, sheriff, and detention center. So Mr. Garcia, you're correct, we need to also assess the additional buildings.
You also have, I don't know how many fire stations you have that need to be included. You know, in my experience, and you know, we have to answer to the Association of Counties. They come annually and they inspect our facilities. Mr. Tiernan is probably a part of that. I don't know how involved you are or not, but the Association of Counties comes and they inspect our facilities once a year, and they find deficiencies, and those deficiencies are outlined, and once they're outlined, then you have to come up with a schedule on how you're going to correct those deficiencies. You know, so you're identifying the deficiencies here on 7 of those buildings. We're still lacking, like I say, the convenience centers, the fire stations, the county fairgrounds. I know that the county fairgrounds, there's a building that the roof is leaking, and I'm not sure if you're aware of it or not, but I'm aware of it because I've been going to their meetings. And you know, that is important. It's very important because, you know, the same thing with the DA's concern. You know, we're not living that, they're living that. There's 40-some staff that are having to live with that, not us. So it's easy for us to say, oh yeah, no worries. We'll just go turn one switch on, one switch off. You know, in the real world, that's what's going on. But in order for us to do preventive maintenance, in order for us to become a better county, in my case, a better county commissioner, I need to look at all that stuff. And I need to make sure that I try to address that. Instead of saying, well, you know what, it works, so I'm not gonna fix it because it's working. That's not the way it should be.
And
I am aware, I'm sorry.
Excuse me, I don't think anybody is stating that. I think what we're stating is that, like you just mentioned, that you know about the county fairgrounds having leaks on the roof, but have you brought it to the attention of the person that needs to know about it?
Yes, I have.
So then you follow up with the person that you have brought it up with. You know, what are you doing to fix this? What have we done to fix this? I think that, you know, there has to be a communication between, you stated that the Association of Counties checks our facilities, and when's the last time they checked that? You know, has that been done? You know, that's my concern.
You and I share the same concern.
I am aware of the condition of the roof out there at the county fairgrounds. I have solicited bids to have that roof replaced. I've also was aware of an electrical problem last year they were having, and I also had that electrical issue taken care of at the county fairgrounds. So I am not neglecting any of the buildings, if that's what you are assuming.
No, I'm not. They're not. All I'm saying is it's not identified, and it needs to be identified. Or I'm asking that it be identified.
I am aware of those issues, yes.
Madam Chair, members of the commission, I want to thank John Tiernan for this asset report. I echo Commissioner Garcia's concerns, but the bottom line is funding for repairs. As he indicated on this document, we're looking at approximately $274,000. The question is where we're going to get that money. Right now, our plan is kept in capital. And as we assess additional buildings, fire stations, sheriff's department, detention center, the cost will increase. So the issue will be where we get that funding. So we will continue to assess additional buildings and we'll move forward. But I want to thank John Tiernan for putting this report together.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next, we move on to item number 3, San Miguel County Detention Center Medical and Behavioral Health Services. Presenter, Matt A. Elwell, Warden.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, before you today, we submitted a request for proposal for medical and behavioral health services at the detention center. We had a committee of 5 members that read through the responses and made a selection. They've selected Core Health to be our recommended provider of medical and behavioral health care. What we're asking today is for you to approve our selection and then allow the county manager to negotiate a contract which would include cost of the services. And then we would bring that back to you in August as a full-fledged contract. The reason for the time period and why we're requesting that you approve our recommendation is that so we can take time to negotiate this contract with a high liability in medical and behavioral health and the new legislative mandates having to do with release planning. We want to make sure that that contract includes and is all-inclusive, not only to cost, but indemnification of the county, and make sure that's an accurate contract before we bring it forward. So I'm asking your approval to go into negotiations with Core Health.
Do I have a motion on the floor to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Nahar,
Second.
Second by Commissioner Varela. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Mr. Elwell. Next on the agenda, we have item number 4, grant agreement SAP 19D2517 GF. Presenter, Mr. Tafoya, Planning and Zoning Supervisor.
Good afternoon. The county has received grant agreement number SAP 19-D2517-GF, which provides $85,000 to purchase and equip a transport truck for roll-off containers for the solid waste department. And what is required is that the agreements be accepted by resolution. The Environment Department that provided the grant agreement provided a resolution template for us to follow. So what we're asking the County Commission to do is authorize our Commission Chair, Maria Martinez, to sign the agreement and also sign Attachment F, which is resolution number 07-9-2019-PW-D2517. And that resolution essentially accepts the grant agreement as presented and also designates official representatives who are authorized to sign and request reimbursement requests and act as single point of contact for all matters related to the grant agreement.
Do I have a motion on the floor to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Varela, second by Commissioner Trujillo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next, item number 5, grant agreement SAP 19D2518GF. Presenter Alex Tafoya, Planning and Zoning.
This grant agreement number SAP 19-D2518-GF is a grant agreement from the New Mexico Environment Department for which provides $20,000 to purchase and equip solid waste bins for the solid waste department. The agreement has to be accepted by adopted resolution. So what we're asking the Board of County Commissioners is to authorize Commission Chair Maria Martinez to sign the agreement and also to assign Attachment F, which is resolution number 07-9-2019-PW-D2518.
Do I have a motion on the floor to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Trujillo,
Second.
second by Commissioner Nahara. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is item number 6, approval of contract Stantec Consulting Services. Presenter Alex Tafoya, Planning and Zoning.
At its May 15th, 2019 meeting, County Commission authorized county staff to enter into contract negotiations with Stantec Consulting Services for engineering services as needed. So we went back and forth with Stantec, county staff did, and we received a contract from Stantec Consulting Services, which was the contract rather that the county provided to them initially. So we would like the county to approve the contract and authorize the county manager, Vidal Martinez, to sign the contract.
Do I have a motion on the floor to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Garcia,
Second.
second by Commissioner Nahara. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 7, application number SC0090, summary subdivision. Presenter Alex Tafoya, Planning and Zoning.
This is a summary subdivision application submitted by Lawrence J. Lucero, who proposes to divide a tract of land consisting of 4.82 acres, more or less, into 3 tracts. We've completed the agency review, which included state engineer's office review in regard to water availability. They had some concerns in regard to the well permit, which Mr. Lucero addressed and took care of. It's a simple summary subdivision. What we're asking the Board of County Commissioners to do is, of course, review the application. We're asking them to conduct a public hearing and accept public comment on the application, and also to approve the application. Mr. Lucero is here if there's any questions or comments that the Board of County Commissioners has of him. Otherwise, it's ready to go.
Where exactly, Madam Chair?
Commissioner Trujillo?
Mr. Capoyo, where exactly is this?
Pardon?
Where exactly is a proposed subdivision? Or-
The location?
Yeah.
It's in the Manuelitas area.
That's-
Motion on the floor?
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Garcia,
Second.
second by Commissioner Trujillo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 8, resolution number 070919, ICIP. Presenter Alex Tafoya, Planning and Zoning.
County staff has been working on developing the infrastructure capital improvements plan for 2021 to 2025. We presented projects that are being proposed to be on the plan to the County Commission. Previously, we have so far 46 projects for a total of $17,063,500. The deadline to submit our ICIP is September 3rd. ICIP needs to be adopted by resolution. So what we're hoping today is that the County Commission accept comments on projects to be included in the ICIP. We're also going to we're asking the County Commission to select the top 5 projects for legislative ranking, and also adopt resolution number 07-09-19-ICIP. So with that, entertain any questions, comments, or criticisms.
Any questions?
I have a question. I see some county roads on here.
Yes.
And I know that Arnold will be, Mr. Lopez will be giving his report. So does this include all of the roads that we had presented and talked about at previous meetings? And
The county roads that are on the ICIP come from, of course, the previous ICIP. Mr. Lopez also provided a list of roads by district, and I'm not sure how he came up with that list, but he provided us with a list of roads, and so we've included them on the ICIP. The newer items in regard to roads anyway are at the lower part of your list, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. Some of the other roads were already on there. We updated them a little bit in regard to project cost perhaps, and maybe a few things that need to be included. But you don't see that on this list because the actual ICIP is a lot different than the list here. It's the description and all that, but we've gotten a lot of that from Mr. Lopez already.
So there's some roads that I'm not seeing on here. The road to San Jose, to the village of San Jose, that I understand is going to need some funding. The railing and the East Pecos that along the Acequia there. So there's some specific projects that aren't on here. And I'm just wondering now if we can get these on here. And I know we need to approve this in a timely manner because of the submission to the ICIP with the resolution. But there's a lot missing. And then I expect, as I mentioned in other meetings, that constituents of mine and others are going to go to the legislature with their own request for roads. Kind of is in competition with ours, so I know we're not going to solve that problem now, but I don't see some of the roads that I have mentioned to Mr. Lopez on this list.
And that's the purpose of today's meeting. If there's anything you want added, you just need to let me know.
Okay, yes, I do. Okay, thank you. I'd like to add that railing on the East Pecos along the Acequia, and Mr. Lopez can give us the road number because I don't know the numbers by heart. And also San Jose. The road to that village is in dire need of pothole repair and materials.
Okay, and what, and San Jose, you said?
Yes, San Jose to the village. And then also, I see the road here to San Isidro. It says B43B, but I understand that they need road work from the underpass all the way to North San Isidro, so to include that whole road. And those are the ones that come to mind right now, just off the top of my head. And I think we have Gonzalez is on there, no? Yeah.
Any other questions, concerns? Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Nahar,
Second.
second by Commissioner Trujillo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 9, resolution number SMC 07-09-2019-CAP, authorizing San Miguel County to enter into a cooperative agreement with New Mexico Department of Transportation for road improvement funds through the local government road fund program. Presenter, Mr. Arnold Lopez, interim director.
I'm sorry, Matt, before you start, Madam Chair, I just wanted clarification on the motion that was made. Did that include the additions that I wanted to add?
I don't think it did.
It
I
did?
think he wrote down the
Yeah,
list.
he did.
Oh,
Okay,
it
did? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, because Alex said, and that's why we wanted those, so I just wanted to be clear,
All right.
because it wasn't clear when the motion was made if it included the corrections.
Okay.
Yes? Okay.
And I'll get with Mr. Lopez for the specifics and we'll have him.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry about that, Mr. Lopez.
Just to add to that, I believe on one of the requests there on the ICIP list, we left it specific to just roads in general, correct, Alex?
Oh, good.
Yeah, so later on, if we do get that money, then at that point, we'd come to commission, and then you all would decide which road would get the funding. So that's how we covered, because there is a big need in everybody's district, throughout the county, and it's hard to list every single road that has needs on this list, and that's why we kind of left it in general to, just road repairs. And then again, if we do get funding, we will, come to commission, and between all of us, we'll make agreement or a decision to where these monies and fundings will be utilized. But good afternoon, by the way, Madam Chair, Commission.
Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Afternoon, Mr. Lopez.
So this is our resolution number SMC 07-09-2019. This is the CAP agreement authorizing San Miguel County to enter into a cooperative agreement with New Mexico Department of Transportation for road improvement funds through local government road fund program. This particular agreement would have an appropriation of $112,685, and our required match of 25% would be $37,000 $562. The total for a project would be $150,247. This is one of the fundings that we're considering using on El Camino. El Camino, with cost estimates, of course, we won't know exactly till it goes out to bid and what that's going to cost. But this particular fund is going to be available, or is available to use for road improvement. I did a cost estimate summary for Sheridan Road, and the reason why this road is in dire need of some repair. We got some asphalt that's really failing. It's another project that, in my opinion, it's not a want to, it's a have to thing. You know, we have many roads that do have needs, but this particular road, we need to do something on it. And this road, again, this might be freed up later on, because this is one of the roads that we requested for the special projects from DOT, additional funding that we won't know till probably late September or October if we did receive that funding. And if we did receive the funding for that particular road, this we could then select a different project and utilize it some other place. But that's my recommendation on this.
Commissioner Nahad?
Mr. Lopez, are we able to apply for a hardship waiver on the match?
Yes, and we are applying for hardship waiver on all of
We'll do
these.
that?
On all of these, yes. Melinda will assist us with that.
And also, Camino
And yes.
Road, thank you for cleaning that up. I noticed this week that, although it's Mr. Garcia's district that was asked about it, and I noticed that you cleaned up that debris that was on the side of the road.
Yes, sir.
And somebody, one of the construction companies that left big pillars. I noticed you cleaned that up, so thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You're welcome.
Do I have a motion on the floor to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Nahad, second by Commissioner Garcia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank
We
you.
move on to item number 10, resolution number SMC 07-09-2019-CO-OP, authorizing San Miguel County to enter into cooperative agreement with the New Mexico Department of Transportation for road improvement funds through the local government road fund program. Arnold Lopez, Interim Director, Presenter.
Thank you. Again, this is LGRF co-op fund on the amount of DOT's portion, $55,491. Our 25 match of $18,497, for a total on this project would be $73,988.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Garcia, second by Commissioner Nahad. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next on the agenda, item number 11, resolution number SMC-07-09-2019-SB, authorizing San Miguel County to enter into a cooperative agreement with New Mexico Department of Transportation for the road improvement funds through the local government road fund program. Presenter Arnold Lopez, Interim Director.
This particular one is an appropriation for $100,000 to plan, design, and construct road improvements to San Miguel County Road B26C in the Chapel area.
Do I have a motion on the floor to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Garcia,
Second.
second by Commissioner Trujillo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 12, legislative appropriation number D3393.
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Garcia.
I think there's a mistake. Item 11 was not Chapel, Arnold.
You're right, we're missing number one, which is the school bus.
Yeah. We skipped one.
Oh, there's not, that's not item number 11.
Yeah, that's true. I think we skipped that.
Oh, he skipped it? Oh.
Yeah, Arnold did.
So we'll go back to, what, item 11?
Yeah.
Item 11, resolution number SMC 0709-2019 authorizing San Miguel County to enter into a cooperative agreement with the New Mexico Department of Transportation for road improvement fund through the local government road fund program.
Motion to approve, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, can I ask, you could let us know what roads that we're
Sure.
presenting?
Okay. So this one is item 11, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and this is the school bus. So this particular fund is going to be utilized in this was one of the LGRFs that we're utilizing within the El Camino project. And this one is appropriated for El Camino / Cinder Trail. So if we have enough funds, we're going to apply a seal coat to Cinder Road with this fund.
Thank you. Motion to approve?
Motion to approve by Commissioner Varela,
Second.
second by Commissioner Garcia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 12, legislative appropriation number D 3393, presenter Arnold Lopez. I think that's the
Okay.
one you went.
Yeah.
That's the one you already.
I had to reorganize here. I
Yeah,
had to
that's the
scramble
one
through.
you already went over.
Yeah, that's the one I already did. Okay. And I think you already made the motion to approve, correct?
You made the motion to approve.
Okay, so we're good on that one.
Item number 13, legislative appropriation number D 3390, presenter Arnold Lopez, interim director.
Okay, this is a legislation appropriation which provides us with $50,000 to plan and design and construct improvements on County Road 827 in the Gallinas area. This is for an extension of the chip seal in that area.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Nahad, second by Commissioner Garcia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 14, legislative appropriation number D 3394, presenter Mr. Arnold Lopez.
This is also a legislative appropriation which provides $50,000 to plan and design and construct a low water crossing in the Pecos area on B51A.
Motion to approve, Madam Chair.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Garcia, second by Commissioner Trujillo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 15, legislative appropriation number D 3392, presenter Arnold Lopez.
Okay, this one is an appropriation also which provides $25,000 to plan, design, and construct, maintain, or make improvements to the Panda Reyes Road, County Road 84, which this will be utilized for a portion of the chip seal asphalt in the Panda Reyes area.
Motion to approve, Madam Chair.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Garcia, second by Commissioner Nahad. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 16, legislative appropriation number D 3391, presenter Arnold Lopez.
Okay, this is also an appropriation which provides $50,000 to plan, design, and construct road and drainage improvements to A34 in the Panda Reyes area. Also, this one will be combined with the last one, and it'll be utilized for repavement actually on chip seal on that portion of Panda Reyes.
Motion to approve, Madam Chair.
Motion by Commissioner Garcia,
Second.
second by Commissioner Trujillo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 17, Public Works Division report for the month of June 2019. Information purpose only. Presenter, Mr. Arnold Lopez.
Okay, so crews have been basically spread out throughout the county. We've addressed roads in the Pecos area. Peter is currently in the Rivera area, Curuco. He was in Curuco today addressing, just regular road maintenance. We had some damage from this previous rain nothing too significant. We're taking care of that. I got Juan Macias over in the eastern part of the county. He's over in the Garita area there, addressing some concerns in that area on road maintenance. Johnny Trujillo, we're in the Despensas area. We've been applying base course to a lot of bad areas within that area. And then also kind of preparing for, we got that appropriation of $25,000 that we need to utilize on that road as well. But other than that, just maintenance, and keeping up with the mowing. It's been a little bit challenging.
Commissioner Nahad?
Have they started the work on the San Agustin water crossing yet?
No, sir. The construction, it still hasn't gone out to advertisement and bid. It's still in the design. Where we're at on that one currently is it required some permits, special permits, 404 and 401 permitting from environmental, and those ones take from 4 to 6 months to acquire. So we're just waiting for approval from.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Oh, and thank you again. Our road's looking real good. I went to Colonias, and a lot of people were on that road over the weekend, and it looks really, really good. Thank you. And I did get a call from Mr. Sena of Gonzales, and I haven't told you about that. I don't know if you're able to continue on to a section of Gonzales Ranch.
We had been up there, and that area is never ending. A lot of roads within the area, and you know, as we can, we go every time we're there. We apply a little more material, and yeah, so it's ongoing, and it will be. You know, that's what we do when we have the operator there pulling maintenance. If trucks are available, we'll haul in material and address, you know, whatever is possible.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Lopez.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all too.
Thank you.
So I need a bunch of signatures on these, if you would.
Bring them on. Next, we move on to item number 18, appraisal incentive pay. Presenter Connie M. Gallegos, County Assessor.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Commissioners, and Mr. Manager. We have four staff members that attended the IAAO classes. One passed the July classes in last July, and we had Sherry, our chief appraiser. She went for her recertification, and then this last March we had some more classes, and we had two more that attended and passed. So I'd like to ask for approval for their incentive pay as per state statute section 4-39-5 NMSA 1978, chapter 138, section 2. I'd like for approval for their additional compensation just for taking the classes and getting certified. We have Mario Sanchez, my chief deputy, that passed his first class, so he's now also an appraiser 1. Sherry Salas, chief appraiser, she got recertified, so she is considered a certified appraiser. Raymond Montaño, he passed his third class, and he's now considered an appraiser 3. And Devin Chavez passed his first class, so he is also an appraiser 1.
Well, I would like to say congratulations to your staff for the hard work that they've done. If you let them know, congratulations.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion on the floor to approve?
Motion to approve.
Before we proceed, Madam Chair, I'd like to ask the Finance Division Supervisor if it's something that's budgeted.
Yes, we did get budgeted for it for this coming fiscal year.
Madam Chairman and Commissioner, it is correct. I have to go through listing again, but this is something that we've been paying on an annual basis. Everybody knows this. I was going to say, in your backup, you don't have the resolution with the dollar amounts. So there's certain dollar amounts that are provided to somebody. So like the certified appraiser would receive $7,500.
I have the amounts here, if you want me to read them.
It's just on here. documents, you know the cost, but they are
The two appraiser ones would be receiving 500 apiece. The certified appraiser, which is Sherry, she would be getting the full amount of 7,500, and Raymond Montaño would be getting 4,500 for the appraiser 3.
So we have a motion by Commissioner Nahar. Do we have a second?
A second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is item 19, protest board and alternate protest board members. We have our county assessor, Ms. Gallegos, to present this.
Okay, so our office is now doing, we're in the middle of protest season, and the beginning of protest, I did have our two alternative protest board members decline to stay on board. I guess they retired and they want to do some traveling, so they don't want to tie themselves down to anything. So, and those are our two alternates. We do have Roland Medrano and Lorraine Padilla, who did say that they would remain as our regular board members. And with recommendation of several people, I did a lot of phone calling, requesting someone to see who would be interested in serving as alternates. And we have two alternates that accepted. One would be John David Hernandez and Elizabeth Demare. So I'd like the board's approval, the commission's approval, to rehire board members Roland Medrano and Lorraine Padilla, and alternate board members John David Hernandez and Elizabeth Demare. Now, depending on how many protests we have at the end, they would be serving 1 to 2 days along with our appraisal department and the state. The state will also be coming in. And this is paid by they are paid by the state. It's not, it doesn't come out of our budget.
Do we have a motion to appoint as recommended by our county assessor?
Motion to approve?
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is Board of Finance. Thank you, Ms. Gallegos. Next item is Board of Finance meeting. We have Ms. Bertha Bustamante, our county treasurer, with the bank transfers for the month of June.
Okay, those should be in your computers. If you have any questions, let me know, okay?
So this is just for information purposes.
Only
Anybody have questions? Nothing? I don't. Okay, thank you, Ms. Bustamante. Next item is item 21. Ms. Bustamante, the quarterly tax dollar report for information purposes only.
Okay, for the month of April, May, and June, my total was $4,294,000. We did mail out our delinquent notices on June the 30th, so July we should also bring in a good amount of money.
Do you have any questions from Ms. Bustamante? Nothing? Thank you, Ms. Bustamante.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So next item is item number 22, resolution 219-0709-F1, providing support to El Centro Family Health Center for fiscal year 1920, and we have our finance supervisor, Melinda, to present this item.
Mr. Chair, Vice Chair, and Commissioners, this particular resolution is to provide funding to El Centro from our indigent funds. and I could go ahead and read the resolution if you like, but whereas El Centro Family Health is a federal qualified health center, which enables them to provide 340B pricing to its patients, where El Centro provides services to patients based on a sliding scale which is determined by income verification, whereas there are instances where patients will refuse medication due to the inability to pay, whereas El Centro also provides laboratory work to patients who do not have the ability to pay, whereas the write-offs for low-income patients are over $250,000 during the last year, whereas the county intends to support the El Centro Family Health by providing a subsidy of $25,000 for fiscal year 1920 to offset a portion of those write-offs, whereas these funds will be paid by the indigent fund, and whereas here is the majority opinion of the board to support this health center to offset costs that patients are unable to pay, up to $25,000.
Motion to approve?
We have a motion by Commissioner Varela. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Nahar. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I'm going to turn it back over to Madam Chair.
Item number 23, indigent claims, presenter Melinda Gonzalez.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, you'll see the indigent claim that we've had for this past month, and we're seeking ratification for this particular claim.
Motion to approve this claim on Francisco Rival.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Nahar, second by Commissioner Garcia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 24, receipt report for the month of May 2019, information purposes only.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, this report lists all the receipts that were receipted through our treasurer system for the month of May 2019.
Item number 25, journal entry report for the month of May 2019.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, this report represents all the journal entries that were physically made during the month of May by both the Finance Office and the Treasurer's Office.
Any questions? No. Item number 26, cash balance report for the month of May 2019.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, this report provides you with the balances for all of our cash account, for all of our funds as of the end of May. And these are reconciled cash balances.
Any questions? Item number 27, budget report for the period of July 1st, 2018 through May 31st, 2019. Presenter, Ms. Melinda Gonzalez.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, this report is a year-to-date budget report as of May 31st, 2019. And just to let you know, sometime now in July, we're going to have to be having a special budget hearing to approve the final budget. And at that point in time, I'll be providing you with a final fiscal year 18-19 budget recap, as well as the DFA report that I have to submit to the state. So that will be presented at the next meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Melinda. Any questions? Item number 28, accounts payable report for the period of May 2019. Ms. Melinda Gonzalez.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, this report, there's two reports. One report is of all the payments that have been made through our Tyler system by the Finance Office, and the other report are all the payments made by Bernalillo County on behalf of San Miguel County for housing payments. And this one does require a review.
Do I have a motion on the floor to approve?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Motion by Commissioner Garcia.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Varela. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Executive closed session, limited personnel matters as permitted by NMSA 1978, Section 10-15-1H2 as amended of the Open Meeting Act. More specifically, personnel matters regarding specific county departments, county attorney contract, David Romero Law Firm. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Motion by Commissioner Garcia.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Nahar. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.